thank you for the invite to be here to this official launch of this very special project, which will provide jobs and opportunities for the future of people here in Holyhead, on Anglesey, and indeed across the north of Wales, but also globally. Let's not be shy about this. This site, the original site here, was built by international companies, by RTZ, by Kaiser. And I spent many of my school days with American students. They were always bigger than me. I mean, it's not hard, I know, when you look from there, but they were always the Americans that came here and were part of our community. And they gave opportunities to the local area. Now, this is an important step, not just for this site, but for the economic and social history of North West Wales. The town, the island, and indeed the whole of our country needs food and it needs energy. And bringing the two concepts together here, I think, is good for Anglesey, good for Wales, and good for the United Kingdom. But I have mixed experiences of coming to this very room. I, like Sean, remember doing school visits here. I remember the construction of the site. My father worked on the jetty that provided the source of aluminum coming to produce the aluminium. I had school friends here who worked for many, many decades here on this plant and this site. And as I said, we welcomed people from across the globe. And I remember fondly the social club that was here. There was a fabric of the town and of the area. I won't go into too much detail what we did in that social club because we're not broadcasting this till before 9 o'clock this evening. But I also remember a roller coaster time as the Member of Parliament. First of all, there was huge new investment in this plant, and this plant produced the highest quality aluminium in the world from that investment. There was also the power shutdown, and it was a very interesting period when we lost power and closed the pot lines down, and they reopened them. That was the first time that was ever done. I also remember facilitating the energy contract. And I did have hair when that first started. I can tell you, it was a very difficult period. And those who know me knows that's not true. But it was a very difficult period because we wanted to retain. And that's the first time we talked about biomass on this site, because we had a link to the nuclear power station. So those were interesting times. And let's not underestimate the massive blow when Anglesey Smelter closed to the area. It was a huge blow. And it's then that I became involved with Brian and his team to ensure that we had a legacy. And that legacy was real jobs for the future. And I worked closely with them and with Orthios when they were chosen as from the tendering process to take this project forward. And I'll be a little more objective than them. It was damn well frustrating being a member of this local community when the time that was taken to do it. But it had to be done properly, and that was the key to it. The lawyers wouldn't allow it any other way. But I know the time, the effort, and the energy that's been put in by the previous owners and the current owners of this site. And I ask you to put your hands together for the work that they've done. That closure tested the resilience of the Anglesey. We are not just a resilient community, we're a pioneering community. We've pioneered many things in the past. We're an ambitious island community as well, and we're outward looking. And yes, we want to be part of the global economy. And I remember only too well speaking about this being a pioneering first, that this project, when it's successful, when it's up and running, will be transported to other parts of the world. So let's be proud of what we can achieve here. And this fits the bill, I think, very much. But it's linked to the infrastructure of the 70s, the excellent deep water port that we have here in Holyhead, the infrastructure, the conveyor belt that will bring the biomass in. And this industrial site will again rise from the ashes and provide jobs and opportunities for the future. It is a big challenge ahead, turning this concept and idea into reality. But at the centre of that, and I'm sure everybody in this room will agree, is human resources. The infrastructure is one thing, but without the most important resource, human resource and people, then it will not succeed. And I'm very pleased that we have a pool of experienced people here, of ambitious young people for the future. The sixth form were represented here until a few minutes ago. They had to go back to class. I don't know if I'd have gone, if the teacher would have said to me to go back to class, but they've gone. But I want to go into the schools of Anglesey, the colleges, the universities, and look students in the eye and say there is opportunities for you here on the island. Whether you want to be an engineer, a scientist, or you want to leave school at the first opportunity, then you will have an opportunity of jobs of quality here on Anglesey. That's the goal. That's the shared goal that we all aspire to achieve. Now we're starting today, quite rightly, with 20 plus jobs, but I won't be content until that figure is 200 plus. And 500 plus. And on top of that, construction jobs. Because if we set now into train a plan for training people for the future, then the momentum will be with us. And future generations, our children and our grandchildren, will have the opportunities of decades of employment here on the island. It's about jobs, jobs and jobs. And it's about giving people choices. And I know that the good people of Anglesey, the good people of North Wales, if they're given the choice, yes, they may want to travel, but they'll want to come back. And giving them that opportunity is what it is all about. So today, we're offering opportunities to those people. The Eco Park concept is unique. It's a first. It's been described by Sean and others as a project that grows food, that will produce energy. Energy security and food security are the most important things that the globe faces, and we'll be part of achieving that as we move forward. Yes, there will be risks. Yes, there will be challenges. And yes, there will be criticism. You know, I think it was Robert Kennedy that once said that 20% of the people are against all of the things all of the time. Well, I can tell you, I've met about 18% of that population, and I know them by name. But it's a serious point. There will be concerns, and we need to deal with those concerns, and we'll deal with them head on, because we are positive about the future, and we're passionate about the future, and we're working together to create, and each and every one of us in this room has a responsibility to take this project forward. It's not just about the profits of the group. It's about the link with the community. Anglesey Aluminium, Rio Tinto had decades of good community relations. That's what will sustain this group in this area, about the way they engage with the local community. And I'm confident with the team that I've met today, with the passion that they're showing, linked with the passion of the local community, we can be world leaders. And I'm very proud to be here to launch this project today. From the ashes of a closure of Anglesey Aluminium comes Orthios and the future for our young people. Diolch yn fawr iawn i pawb.